The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And it's another excellent day at TFNN and the Power Trading Hour, and me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host, David White. And we've got a very interesting day here in the market, going above all-time highs, at least on the S&P cash. Now, the question comes into being, is this going to be a failure up here at the top? Are they going to be able to push this market just a little bit harder? Normally, you would see some kind of volume come in. You'd like to see typically a sign of strength. That is wide price spread. That is higher volume. And what do we have? So far, we'd like to have probably 2.2 billion shares coming in to the start of the show. We've got 1.89. So we're off a good 10%. Maybe 15, 20% of what we'd like to see. But at highs, you want to see a sign of strength. That wouldn't be 3.5 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange at the end of the day. That would be 4.8, 5.5 billion shares, some kind of huge sign of strength. And then it would pull back to the breakout area, and we'd probably buy. The problem is, if you build a house on sand, will it be there tomorrow? That certainly could be. The problem is the first big storm wipes you out, and that is why it's very hard for anybody that's been around the stock market for a long time to be long if it's their own money. If it's somebody else's money, you just keep gambling it up. And the old saying on Wall Street is, if you're not buying the top, you're not trying. That's exactly what they say to those folks out there. So what are we going to do for this? Well, we're at 1887. We went to a high of 1890. We're what? So we went 6 points, 7 points over the 1883 that pretty much set everything up here. Now, the question is whether or not we're going to have any kind of volume at the end, whether that volume comes in the next couple of days. A lot of people are looking at the numbers coming out Friday morning at 8:30 to put us over that high. But it is problematic at best to think that there's anything out here that is going to change other than what we know now. I know a lot of people are saying that they aren't looking for higher interest rates anytime soon, and we're going to talk about that and what one Fed president said about that today. But before that, today in history, and at least financial history, today in 1973, the Chicago Board of Options Exchange opens for trading for the first day with call options available on 16 U.S. common stocks. For the first time, stock options are listed on a dedicated exchange and registered for trading in a standardized form, creating a fair and orderly market. Total volume for the first day, 911 contracts. So not a bad day. For the most part, options had been pushed out what they used to call the curb, literally out in the street for a number of years. And, of course, it meandered and languished pretty much into the mid-'80s when the Black-Scholes pricing model actually came out and was able to be programmed by Sun workstations and others, and made it practical to quickly price what options should sell for. Before then, it was kind of hit or miss, and why it never did well. Once there was a mathematical model that worked at least decently, and option market makers could make money, it pretty much took off. And, of course, huge option volumes these days. Not a bad deal, but you have to know what you're doing. Most of the time, it's not worth buying them. If you wanted to beat a house, you certainly can. You can sell an option spread. And if you're doing it all the time, probably the thing to do. If you're willing to only buy options 1, 2, maybe 3 times a year, Probably, if you can have that kind of patience, you can do well on one side. But most of the time, options go and expire worthless about 90% of the time. Also today in 1812, mobs of manual laborers smash and burn a textile mill near Nottingham, England, enraged by its use of mechanical looms. Basically, they were led by this guy named Ned Ludd, and they eventually took them all out and shot them in the clearing, or a bunch of them, a bunch of troublemakers. But what did we find? There's no difference from that day till today, and why people are called Luddites, people that oppose technological progress, and we have those people today, and we all know what we call them. They don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, not in my backyard, and why there's room for thought and before everybody goes off half-cocked. I'd say 9 out of 10 times these people have like a big button like the staple button, and they just reach out and hit it. No, 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 no. And that's all they want to do. They're just Luddites. And, of course, for years after they got rid of these Luddites in 1812, England had the highest rate of employment anywhere in the world. And I think that lasted for almost 50 years. So everybody that does it, they probably should read a book, and maybe I'll bring the book up later in the day. I've brought it up on shows before, but being a rational optimist. But anyway, today in history, Europe, not a whole lot, just slightly higher for what we've seen today. Not a whole lot. What else can we say? A little bit. Hong Kong up 0.3, Shanghai up 0.6, and Japan's Nikkei up 1% on more promises to throw more money around. Of course, the Flash Boys book is getting a great deal of play. In fact, the author was on Comedy Central last night as a guest for The Daily Show, and of course he was on CNBC. But I think this is kind of an issue that you should care about, even though, like I said yesterday, they're stealing $50 from you a year slowly if you're a trader, maybe a little more, maybe 100. So it's not a huge amount of money, but they're stealing money nonetheless. If they stole it all at once, they'd be in jail. They're basically stealing it a penny at a time, like what, Superman 3 and Richard Pryor. Then that's okay. If computers do it, it's okay. If humans did it, it would be illegal. But the question is just a few things. I had some notes on here. Then we're going to get to the rest of the stuff. We have people that are willfully either ignorant or corrupt. We saw a lot of those people in the last couple of days on CNBC or on regular news. Last night, they found Mary Jo White, who's the head of the SEC. Now, this little stooge has been avoiding the people at Nanex for more than a year. Well, since she became the head of the SEC, but everybody at the SEC has been avoiding these people. They have all the data. They're the only company that has all the data. They have a record of every single quote ever put in the last few years. They know exactly what caused the flash crash because of it. They basically avoid the Nanex people like the plague because they are the only people that have the records to actually show what happened. They've broken it down. They put all these white papers out. And when they asked Mary Jo White last night if the market's rigged, she says no. And you either are ignorant and stupid or a liar. And she's a pretty smart gal. The problem is this is a kind of a tough thing. So could she just be stupid? And I mean stupid in the fact that she knows nothing about the stock market. She spent her whole life prosecuting people, a lot of mobsters, that kind of stuff. So maybe she knows bookkeeping. She understands trading. Maybe, maybe not. Head of the SEC, she probably ought to. And the fact that she willfully ignores data from Nanex makes me think that she's corrupt. If someone says they've got the answer and you run away from them, it can only be one thing. But just my opinion. If you are watching on Tiger TV or interested in the subject, I've got a great little diagram here that shows exactly what happens to your order. And very interesting to see that, just what happens to it and how many times it bounces around for somebody like the Bats company to go out and get it. And one of the other things is normally this is probably would all blow over in a matter of days. I think this is going to last a little longer. There was a company called Virtu, VIRTU. It was a high frequency trading stock, and I want to differentiate that between high frequency traders who just quote stuff, which is another issue, opposed to people that are actually scamming or skimming, just like the mob did in Las Vegas. These folks would be more along the skimmer lines, and everybody says it's not illegal, but it is illegal, and there's documents on the Nanex website. If you want a link to Eric Hunsater's Twitter feed, pretty much every day he shows exactly what's wrong with the market, where it's going to, and amazingly, the SEC ignores it all. So when we ask about whether or not these people really care or not, a lot of go along to get along, a lot of look the other way, a lot of probably corruption, and that we saw yesterday from some evidence that over 200 people that have left the SEC have gone to work for high-frequency traders as a variety of things, but mostly people to go up and lobby Congress and or go out and spread disinformation about what's actually going on. But check out that website, and if you want the link, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. But I think it's important for you guys to know, because it's not the $100 or $50 they steal from you every year. That this is so complicated means that you could have a major failure. And I'm thinking about the kind of major failures in a market that we saw, let's say, in the Challenger disaster. Everybody looks the other way. Later on, the other space shuttle that blew up, there had been 67 strikes of ice falling off of the main tank before you had a major failure. Everybody looks the other way. When you get into government, it's fairly easy to just go along and get along. And what would worry me is a overly complex market that no one's figured out, and yet another flash crash that doesn't fix itself that quickly.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
As we come back, interesting deal anyway. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And or you can post a note in the den, and you can also vote, I guess, in the den, or you can email me. I am told that the beard I'm growing gives me the impression that you're homeless. That's just a feedback I got on it recently. Well, that's interesting. If you think I'm homeless, email me at path@tfnn.com. But nope. There is actually a reason why I'm not shaving on my face. It is a medical reason, and it probably won't go away anytime soon. So you'll probably just have to live with it. So we will have that. But Mr. Doctor doesn't want me putting any chemicals on my face, like aftershave or lotion or anything else. So that's why. So it's not going away anytime soon. So anyway, and of course, I always do what the doctor says. What else we have? We've been talking about Google. I didn't like it much as a short. I did want to remind everybody tomorrow that we may have a little bit more volatility in the fact that we're going into that stock split tomorrow, and that will be. I think it's at the open tomorrow. It's at the open or the close, but just to make sure. That you look at Google and know that there are probably going to be a few more retail investors eyeing Google on the split that wanted to buy it but wouldn't buy a $1,000 stock. So take that for what it's worth. Russia, I saw some people making some comments in the den about Russia. Some interesting information from basically some polls taken over there. The PMI came out from Russia, and this is actually a day or two old. I just thought I'd get to it today. But they're basically continuing to contract. And I have a feeling a lot of what Putin's doing here is to make sure everybody doesn't ask too many questions about what's going on in the economy of Russia. It was basically the only strength they have at all is in the consumer sector. And at the same time, this sector has sharply increased its inventories, which is a negative sign for future business activity. So they may have bigger problems to come. Once again, spending more money on arms when they are nothing more than one politician called them a gas station with a, what was it, a mobster running it. I think that's what they said. Samsung's S5 is coming out. They've already taken it apart. It will be for sale here in the United States in about a week. Qualcomm is the big winner on this Samsung S5. They have just 6-7 parts in this build out here, and you're probably going to see some strength from them. Other manufacturers are Audence, RF Micro Devices, NXP Semiconductors, Lattice Semiconductors, and Venessence, and Maxim Integrated Circuits. So if you're playing any of those, just know that you probably need to see and maybe do a little Googling about just how much business there is for them in this new Samsung product. But, of course, a lot of these top-line phones sell well, but they use parts that are, for the most part, more expensive and better margins for people like Qualcomm and all the rest of these guys. They're not using the cheapest parts and the smallest memory. They're using the best cameras. They're using the highest bandwidth memory. They're using the fastest processors. And almost all of those always come with higher margins. So keep an eye on that. So that would be it. Okay. Audience. So we did that. Of course, we talked a little bit about, at the beginning of the show, about rate hikes. The Fed's Bullard expects the first rate hike in the first quarter of 2015. Of course, everybody came out and started yelling him down, saying he doesn't have a vote. He will in 2016. But according to him, and I have a feeling that he didn't make this just off the cuff, they are preparing us to go ahead and at the beginning of the year start seeing interest rates hike. They just don't willy-nilly go running around saying kind of stuff like that. It's kind of like the theories about UFOs. They want to get us ready for it and kind of do that. And instead of having the Fed president come out and say it, or the president of the Fed, they'll have one of these local presidents like Bullard come out that doesn't vote. And then probably in a month or two, probably going to see a Fed president that does vote that'll bring this up. And by midsummer, they'll be talking about the first quarter rate hikes. And by next fall, all the people that say that would never happen will probably, I think, have to start saying, well, it's probably true. How many times do they tell us that the tapering wouldn't happen?
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Again, you can email me at path@tfnn.com, or you can be nice enough to go ahead and call me at 877-927-6648. Andy says, I think the facial hair is becoming. Well, I think it makes me actually have a chin. I kind of just look like a round face on top of my shoulders. I'm not one that has that nice, wonderful gaunt neck and chiseled chin. So it actually, almost like I probably could just take a black magic marker and put it down there and make me look just a little bit better. So, getting ready for Pioneers Days is another comment out there. Anyway, we've got Bullard looking at some of these things, so that's it. Today, Windows 8.1 is being shown out here. There's a few other things. Microsoft's going through their build conference this week. So that's a little bit interesting, but I didn't look at Microsoft here, which I probably needed to do and see how it was doing. If I can find my mouse, take a quick look at my MSFT. It's up here. I think it's probably a little bit of extended, probably coming back to $40, maybe 39, probably if we get the pullback that I'm expecting. But I'm going to continue to have good news out in this company. Not one that I would actually be wanting to be short in. Oh, no one. Oh, it's just a cop car racing down the street. I thought maybe we had a tornado or something going on here. but it sounds just like cop cars going down the road. I've got a fire house not too far from here, and occasionally they come by, but don't hear them too often. Anyway, want to look at Microsoft. That was one of the issues out here, and of course, Microsoft is rolling out what they call Cortana, and this is a learning audio interface like Siri. I've talked about it several times before. Microsoft has spent, last time I looked, $3.5 billion on working on stuff like voice recognition, things like Siri. They're taking a different approach, trying to make it better and useful over all kinds of languages. A much longer, long-range kind of project. I think this is the first time we're going to actually see this. And, of course, it's going to come out in Windows Phone first, but I think we're going to see it in future versions of Windows. The Windows version 8.1 update also being shown out in San Francisco today, and probably going to be available in about a week to 10 days. And it's going to fix a few things people didn't like about Windows 8.1. So as we go back, we're going to look at a few stocks that are moving. Probably the one everybody's jumping up and down about at least a little bit is ISRG today. This thing's come right back and filled its huge gap down on an approval by the FDA. Is it FDA? On one of their new surgical platforms. And to me, I don't know what the whole deal is, but I have a feeling just a lot of people were short and on the wrong side. Good day to go ahead and take them to the cleaners. But Intuitive Surgical up about $50. Well, hang on a second here. Yesterday, and of course, following through today, up to that high, they needed a pretty decent volume, and I think they're going to get it. Let's go back here and look at just a little longer at a time. It's back up. There's going to find a lot of resistance. All these people that had been sucked into it that haven't sold were probably dying to get their cash back. And, of course, a huge consolidation level where they were pumping the stock out that ran from March last year all the way into the beginning of July before this thing fell apart. So probably not going to see a lot higher out here on Intuitive Surgical, but always a high short interest stock and dangerous around any time they're supposed to actually have anything coming out. I was short for this one for a little while. I think I made about $15 on it and got out, but certainly I'm glad that I'm not still long it. What else do we have out here? A few other stocks moving of interest. Yelp is one. A lot of these recent IPOs finding their way back to the last sign of strength. And, some of these things are not set up all that badly. YELP, of course, the website that you go on and complain about your local restaurant to probably having some issues that I don't know are going to be enough to break this stock down. But the thought that you are actually anonymous on these and complaining about it may be a thing of the past. They've lost a couple of lawsuits where they could keep the people private. A lot of people have been using Yelp as a blunt object tool. One of the lawsuits was I think it was a dry cleaner. And his competitor kept on putting horrible reviews on it. And he was pretty sure who was doing those horrible reviews and sued Yelp to make them cough up the name of the person actually doing those reviews. And, of course, lo and behold, his competitor. So you are going to be responsible for what you say on the Internet. And I think that's kind of put a top in this thing. The question is whether or not we're in an upper trading range. Right now, chart-wise, not horrible. We are back at the sign of the breakout. It's pretty much filled everything. And, we've got 3.7 million shares. You would have loved to see something like this if you really wanted to go long, coming in about 2.5 million shares today. No such luck. Tom and I feel the same way about Apollo Group and all these for-profit education companies. They were able to go back, spend a lot of money in lobbying, and get one more bite of the apple to get our tax dollars for these online education firms and night colleges in which they take an exorbitant amount of money to get. Of course, over the last few days, we found that I think it was Apollo got a new FDA, or not FDA, got a summons to cough up a lot of documents. That's always a bad sign, especially when it has to come in the form of a summons, means that they probably asked for it and decided not to cough up the data. And we're compelled to by the, I think it was the OMG, Office of Management and Budget, I think it's something like that, Attorney General. And it is going to be problematic, but I have a feeling this is the first step, once again, at coming back in and looking at these for-profit educational companies and seeing some of the problems. I'd been short one. They hadn't cracked yet, but it is interesting nonetheless. Let's see what else we have out here. GG, probably one of the more interesting ones out here. A little gap up here for Gold Corp today. And I didn't see the news that was driving this, an upgrade or whatever. This thing did come back to its gap. That gap happened on 31st of January. Wasn't so significant other than it did gap up, and there was pretty decent volume there, 12,300,000 shares on that January 31st jump high. So you want to make sure that that comes down, or if you think it's going to break it, you want more than 12 million shares. So as we get to down in this area, we got 7 million shares, 5.6, 5.3, 5.7, 3.8 yesterday, and of course getting a bounce out of here, probably temporary, but probably going to get a little bounce in some of those. Of course, gold up $10 today at $12.90.70, and that is going to be interesting, I guess, to no end. What else do we have going on out here to see if there's anything else happening? Want to check in, of course, with a volume and see if anything else out here. And see what my last quote was. 43, is that right? And it certainly is up $1.60 on the S&P cash. 2,055,000. Yeah. So not much in the way of volume out here, at least in the New York Stock Exchange consolidated tape. I occasionally bring this up for new listeners. If you listen to Tom O'Brien, he quotes the New York Stock Exchange floor traded tape, and that is stocks that are actually handed back and forth on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. That's about 1/3 of the volume, maybe 1/4 now of the volume. For the most part, whatever you see on TV, on CNBC, when they go around the floor, if you actually did a wide-angle shot of that, you'd see that it's pretty much vacant. Almost everything is done by computers, and the New York Stock Exchange itself is somewhat of a just a sightseeing adventure anymore. Almost everything happens via computers. Those computers are over in New Jersey, and not much actually happens on the floor. Occasionally, some things do. And, of course, if you want to handle things mano a mano with a big block trade, a better way to do it than put it out there on the wires. But probably the most interesting part of that is that it's a big enough sample size that just like asking 1,500 people who's going to be president, you're probably going to get plus or minus 4%. So whether you use the floor traded or you use everything that is physically traded, which is the New York Stock Exchange consolidated tape, that is the Amex, the New York Stock Exchange, plus everything traded that's listed on the NYSE on any of the ECN's electronic commerce networks that we've been talking about these last few days with the high-frequency trading. So just basically everything that is listed on the Amex and listed on the New York Stock Exchange, no matter where it's traded. But like I said, not going to be a big difference. And actually, with 1/4 of the volume on it, you're probably going to be plus or minus 1 or 2% or something. So whichever one you use, it's fine. But you need to know what volume you're looking at. But when we see 2 billion shares here, at 245. What we are truly looking at is a market that is projecting to do maybe 3 billion shares on the day. And, of course, we've talked about what you want to see, which is a move higher with higher volume. Certainly not going to get it. Maybe we're going to get it with some kind of gap up. I am not betting that way, but it continues to be interesting. STE, another one. Steris Corporation. I think these guys make plastic bins, if I'm not mistaken, which I think is kind of interesting, from China, if I can actually get that. I'm getting a connecting thing, not getting any kind of data back. Oh, there he goes. Infection prevention, contamination control, microbiological reduction, and support products for healthcare, pharmaceuticals, science, and research. Maybe Steris is another company I remember from going to Walmart and buying plastic bins. Maybe it's the same name. Certainly not the same company. Steam, vaporized hydrogen peroxide, ethylene oxide sterilizers. Ooh, wicked stuff. Liquid chemical steriline processing systems, washer disinfection systems. Well, anyway, in any event, this is what you want to see in a sign of strength. The last high out here had 300,000 shares. We've already done 440,000 shares. You've got a very nice candle. You've got volume that is going to probably be 50% higher than the last previous highs out here. If we look back a little farther, this is a breakout, and it's going to be on volume out here. So there are a few stocks still doing well. I don't like that the energy, for the most part, wasn't very strong on the way back up here, but certainly some interesting news out here on this one, I bet, if I go to the headlines and check it out. It's being acquired by Medical Systems for $165 million plus $10 million for real estate. So I kiss this one goodbye. GTAT. GT Advanced Technologies. We talked about this one on the air, I think, with John from Philly not too long ago. This company makes ovens. Those ovens make sapphire crystals. If you've ever seen anybody with a Rolex watch or a high flash watch, those crystals are made out of a sapphire. It's 10 times, 20 times more scratch resistant than natural glass, still 10 times more scratch resistant than Gorilla Glass. This thing kind of coming up here and touching it. They sold several ovens to make up to 200 million sapphire crystal display coverings for apples. And of course, this company's been on a tear since then. Although I have not heard one bit of information that anybody else has bought their equipment to go do it. And that's been, I think I talked about it in the Tech Insider at $11, where they were getting the ovens bought. And I figured all the news was probably already in it. But this is a go-go market. They don't like it. Certainly getting up here at the top. High today was 1934. So we're about a dime short of that high. But we'll talk about more about this when we do come back.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And doing a little talking with Andy Heck here today, a little IMing, talking about beard hate, about the he thinks it's good. Gives my face to rest. Certainly need it out here, but I don't see any more emails, so we'll look at a few more stocks moving out here today and check in with the market. And if you're in the den today, you're going to get an extra dose of Andy that's not out there normally. So maybe one good reason to be in the den every once in a while. He'll be in there for a little bit. You'll be able to hear it later next week. And always interesting to hear what Andy has to say with all his years of experience. And even if you give people, it's his ETN ETF show, part 2. So look forward to that next week when Andy's out there trying to educate skulls full of mush at some college in Colorado, where they're probably all going to be smoking dope anyway. So it will be interesting. Okay. Now, what do we have going on out here? We're still pretty flat. 1887, 2.1 billion shares. So we're even pulling down now probably 2.9 billion shares before the end of the day. It's going to be an extremely light day. Again, could we gap up to 1900 on the S&P cash? I think the answer is yes. I don't know if it will last very long. We're going to have to get a lot more people looking at what's coming in. anyway, if you do get my newsletters, either the Tech Insider or the Path of Least Resistance, you should check your email today. We entered some new positions, and I haven't put any index positions in, but I have a feeling that we have at least some good starter positions here before the market maybe breaks. But I think in any event, probably, maybe the market just noodles around here for a while and bores us all out at the top. But I think pretty much I'm looking for some kind of huge movement here, probably on Friday. And maybe we pull back a little bit, and maybe the jump comes on Friday, our gap up, and that puts a top on the market. Maybe we get volume comes in. But much like anybody that plays cards, you can get dealt aces. And if you don't clean the table out instantly, if you slow play your hand, maybe you won't be able to keep that money. Maybe some cards will flip. Maybe you'll see 2 kings on the table, and suddenly maybe someone else has got 3 of a kind. So things do change. Your best trades are made by the best information at that time. That information can change. And like Mr. Keene said, when the facts change, I change my mind. What do you do, sir? And right now, I'm going with the best information I have. And I appreciate everybody that listens to this show every day. And Andy's out here. Andy says he loses with aces all the time, and it's an easy thing to do. Overplay your hand. But I think we've got a few positions out here, and got room for plenty more if this market turns, because I think it's going to be a while. But I appreciate, like I said before, everybody that listens to the show, everybody that reads my newsletters, and all your comments, good or bad, whether you hate my beard or not. I appreciate all of them, even the hate mail, because I'll read it out loud. So anyway, just remember to sell when you can, not when you have to, and we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.